Blog Vixen AJ. Today I will be interviewing Bree Jennings for my interview series. Bree is here to talk about the government's role with food in America. Hi Bree, thank you for being here today and taking the time to do this interview.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, the first question. What do you think is wrong with the food in America?
I think that a lot of it is genetically modified, and a lot of people don't know. Like a lot of it is uh, either cloned or like injected with like a lot of like pesticides and chemicals, and people aren't aware.
Okay, what do you think the government is doing to the food in America?
I believe that they're making it very unsafe for people to eat. I do know that in terms of like vegetables and fruit and stuff like that, there is a season that a lot of stuff comes in, but um, I think that the government, in order to produce like a large amount of fruits and vegetables and then meats and stuff like that, that a lot of it is made in some sort of lab. It isn't natural or naturally grown or naturally raised or anything like that.
Do you think that it's made in a lab to extend the life expectancy of the food? That way it can last on the shelves, or in like the produce section or the deli section for a longer time than, say, if it was natural or not injected with certain chemicals?
I do think so because a lot of the stuff that are in grocery stores and stuff like that, it's processed and it goes from like a warehouse to this store to this trucking company. So yeah, in order for that stuff to last, it has to be processed and injected and stuff so that it doesn't go bad.
So you would say that the government is poisoning the food supply, in a sense.
Yes, I do believe that they're poisoning the food supply.
And why do you think that, besides what you mentioned earlier about, like the lifespan of the food, extending the lifespan of the food? Why do you think the government is poisoning the food supply?
Um, I think that it's to eventually, make people become very ill and sick and reduce the population.
Okay. Why do you think people are so addicted to what they eat, as far as maybe processed foods go, not necessarily healthier foods or natural or organic foods?
Um, I think they're addicted because of the chemicals that are in the food. Just like certain pharmaceuticals, all that stuff is made in some sort of lab, and it becomes addictive.
Do you think people avoid or deter from eating healthier or healthy because it's too expensive, or because they're addicted to the processed foods?
I think it's both, depending on the person. Like a lot of organically grown foods um, are very expensive, more expensive than chips. Like you can go and buy maybe for 24 packs of sodas for a low amount of money, but then you go to look for like alkaline water, and that stuff is very expensive. Like nobody has time to pay for food like that, especially in the economy. Like there isn't any money, so of course, in order to feed yourself, you're gonna go with you know, what's on sale and the deal, and a lot of that stuff, like I said, is processed.
What should people be eating, or what do you think that people should be eating?
Um, I mean, I think everyone's different because um, I believe that religion plays a key part in, you know, what people can and can't eat. So, I mean, I personally think that, you know, regardless of your religion, you know, some people can't eat meat, some people can't eat pork and stuff like that. I think that it's better to eat foods that are, you know, non-GMO, or foods that are organically grown, you know, and foods that aren't in terms of meat, aren't injected or cloned.
Okay. What do you think would happen or the government would do if everyone stopped eating fast food or processed food and started going more natural or organic?
I think that if that were to ever happen, that it would be it'd be like a war zone, because I believe that the foods that are in stores and stuff, they you know, they kind of make people think different. Like you know, certain foods have ingredients that are in like Prozac, and Prozac is known to you know, help people that are quote unquote crazy. So I think that if people started eating right and, you know, healthy, that they would think different, you know, and they would realize what was going on around them. So I think that the government, it would just be a war zone, like people against the government.
Okay. Is there anything else you would like to mention about the government's role with food in America, or just anything that you want to say to, you know, viewers about food or the government or both?
Um, I just think that people should pay attention and be more aware of what they're putting into their bodies. I think that they should read more instead of you know, just picking up something and eating it, because a lot of that stuff um, comes from the same stuff. Like a lot of ingredients are the same. It's just it's said different, or you know, on a label, the chemical might be something else, but it's the same thing. So I do think that people should be more aware of what they're eating and what you know, just what they're doing in general in terms of the government. Like they should want to be able to know what the government is doing, what the government is up to, and how the government works, so that they can protect themselves.
Okay. Well, that's all the questions that I have for you. So thank you again for doing this interview.
Thank you for having me.
Until next time.